Hello everyone, welcome back and it's time to get the reading for the month of November, which for those of us living here in the US is a time for voting and a lot of decision making. As we are also now full in the swing of fall, in December we'll be hitting the winter solstice and the switch to the winter period. So let us begin to see what we have to have for this middle period of the fall as it heads towards its close. All right, so we have thrown the bones and the dice, and we have pulled our card. So I'm going to start with the card here, which is the wisdom knot. Wisdom, ingenuity, intelligence, and patience. It is the wise who untie the knot of wisdom. A knot made with wisdom can only be untied by those with wisdom. Now, why is that important? Well, it's about our awareness of the knowledge that is around us and the knowledge that is going on to make our decisions with. As we are looking very much at the coming period with the election, we are looking at making wise decisions. Now, the thing though is, a wise decision is also to know that there are those who would do ill. There is a very put forth conscious belief in the good of everyone and the good of an individual. Nothing ideally wrong with that, but it is limiting. For there is a simple fact of the matter is that every human has potential to do good and potential to do bad. So the wisdom is knowing that there is those who will do the thing that is right for people, society as a whole, and knowing that there are those who will do things for only those that are like them. So it's keeping that awareness. Now, the dice we have is number 4, representing the 4th house, which is home, family, roots, your emotional foundation. And why that also, I think, blends very nicely with the knot of wisdom is understanding the wisdom of what makes up our home and what doesn't, what makes up our family, what makes up the roots, not just our family, but of ourselves, of the world and communities that we live in, and very much so of what our purpose is. And then it's also about your emotional foundation. Now, this is most key because to be able to weather any type of storm, we need to know what our emotional foundation is and strengthen it. Now, why I say that, sadly, is that there is a great potential with this coming election for a great storm to come. Now the question is, who's going to be in the storm? Or, well, fundamentally, we're all in the storm. The question is, what type of boat are we on in the storm? And there is, again, the foundation of great change coming. The question is, change for whom? Those who truly embody the sense of good for all of humanity, or those who embody good for only a select few of humanity. This is part of what we're making a decision about. Now, when we look at the bones themselves, what we've got is, I'm going to start with the shell, which is turned inward. And again, internal work, internal feelings, which fits with the emotional foundation element that we're working on. What is that emotional foundation? Now, when we consider what our main 3 bones are, this one is family, or home, or community. Family, social, or community. This one is home, that one is work. So we also see that we have the copper piece, so there's the conduit to spirit, and the spiritual elements that are going on here as being the deeper foundations of what lie within our family, within our community, within our social structures. That's what's being attested here in the month of November. It's that understanding of where do we end, where do we begin? Where do we separate ourselves off both willingly, and where have we been separated by others who have chosen? And who see us as people, or see us as the thing to be frightened of, the thing that they feel must be controlled. And there is inspiration that flows into it. And this is where the quartz piece comes in. The quartz is really telling us about, again, what are we looking at? We have a history of behavior. That the idea of looking that everybody is good requires us to ignore that history, when that history is very necessary for us to be able to determine where to build a home at. You don't want to build your home on land that gets flooded regularly. You don't want to build your home on land that is constantly caught under mudslides and rock falls. You want to build your home in a place that is going to be stable of all of those things. And I apologize for my Roku box is deciding to restart in the background. The same thing with our family. Are we building our family with the person who has got the most stability, the most emotional sense, the most ability to recognize and be emotionally available for all the things that life throws at us, versus someone who may look pretty but is not really there? What is the roots of the tree that we're planting? What material is it building, is putting its roots in? Will that material actually hold the weight of the tree to its depths? And that comes with time. That comes with actions. That comes with actually analyzing the soil. And that is the wisdom of the knot. Not just the idea of hope that everybody is good. Because again, everyone has the potential. But what feeds that potential, that we will see clues of with those around us. Now, there is both intellectual and emotional support and wishes that are coming in with these bones that are around this section here, not just inspiration. So we need to move forward knowing all of that. We need to make the decisions when we vote with that. And we will need to make those decisions when it is time to gather for Thanksgiving and the people that we know we're going to be around. And that's why over here, when we get into home, we've got, again, much more of the inspiration and more of the support bones. We do have the broken rib bone here, and there's an aspect of dealing with the elderly, very much an aspect, or those that are infirmed, which are going to be very big in this period for the social period. Because again, we're looking at how have those individuals built the home in the world that we're living in? How have they fostered or not fostered family? What is the roots of the trees they have been planting or not? And what is the emotional structure? Because the other thing is, we do want to respect elders, but we also have to remember that these are also people who've gone through just as much things as we have. And just because somebody's old doesn't mean that they have necessarily lived wisely, because we can have those who still have emotional immaturity survive. I mean, we're no longer in the days of rampant illnesses or running into foul of creatures of the forest. So even those who are old can still have a lot of the wounds and have fallen to a lot of that potential, both good and bad, that I've spoken about. So it's going to be about using your head and staying with the inspiration that's there to guide that aspect. But again, act from a place of wisdom. And wisdom is not about just book smarts. It's about also incorporating our emotional and mental understanding of people, which leads over here into our work. So make sure that our work is balanced. Our work is also being able to take into account what we need to have distance from those aspects of family that could actually destroy it. But equally, that our work, which again is not just what pays the bills, but our purpose in being here in the world, is also one that can be at odds with those who are following the potential of ill. When our work is to bring comfort, when it's to bring understanding, to bring wisdom, and bring healing. because those who are following the path, the path and the potential of ill will focus only on themselves and not the good of others. And wisdom is in knowing and seeing who are you trusting, who are you not. Who are you making sure only gets limited information so that they cannot get in the way of what you are doing. And we have a satellite piece here of spinal bone and structure, because this is going to be building some very important structures for the future in what we're dealing with work. So we also have some scattered bones, this one over here and this one. These are what's coming in for December. There's definitely an issue around balance. There's an issue around structure and thought. There's also some having part of wishes. And that's all going to be fed by the decisions that are made in November. So please, everyone, if you have the opportunity, vote. And vote from a place of wisdom. Wisdom also includes the history of how people have acted, both good and bad. Wisdom knows that people operate from a place of potential. And all potentials are possible. Not all of them are probable. And know that we are operating from a place that looks at the wisdom within our homes, the wisdoms within our families, the wisdom that lies in the roots of who we are and in this country. And within the wisdom of what is at our foundational core of who, why, and what we do in this world. So on behalf of the ancestors, the aunts, the Orishas, the Eloas, and the gods, and whatever spirits you may, choose wisely, people. Choose with wisdom of knowing the potential, not just of good, but of bad as well.